Hello, and welcome to another episode of the Geek Nostalgia Podcast. I am your host, Gene Arona,
Yo, I'm Dave, everybody.
and today we got a good one. We are starting our Desert Island series, and in it we are going to speak to a specific subject matter, and we're going to talk about, in this case, top 10 movies we take with us, if that's all we had to watch the rest of our lives. But we're also going to look at it from another interesting angle, but we'll get to that here in a moment. Dave, I have 10 movies. You said you have 10 as well. Start us off. Give me a couple.
Well, we had originally discussed top 5, but being the big movie guy that I am, I can't do 5. I had to bump it up to 10, and even that took a lot of time and effort to try to figure it out.
I'm glad, by the way, you insisted on 10 because once I got done with my top 10, I realized, kind of looking back, 5 would have been impossible for me too.
So I'm just going to go ahead and start from because I dated all of these. I'm going to start from the earliest one, Beverly Hills Cop.
Nice.
Next one after that, or that was 1984. Next one after that, 1986, Aliens.
Nice. We just referenced that one earlier off mic. Very cool.
1987, Predator.
Okay. You son of a bitch.
And Lethal Weapon.
Oh, that's a good one.
89, Batman, Roadhouse.
Okay. That's your slide flick. All right.
That's my song. It surprised me.
Okay.
I figured it would have been a Rambo, even over the top. But no, Tango and Cash is what I went to. 91, A Point Break.
Ooh.
Terminator 2.
Okay.
Then I go up to 97 for my 10th film, Face Off.
Oh. Okay. So first off, I want to throw some big love at you, Dave, because you said Roadhouse, and going through this entire process, I didn't consider Patrick Swayze. And
Really?
you got him on there twice.
Yes.
So that's just big, massive kudos to you. All right, so let me throw some of you. Home Alone 2, Beverly Hills Ninja, love my Chris Farley, Lord of the Rings, 1, 2, and 3. I couldn't do just one. I need the whole trilogy on there. So I took up a lot of space on my top 10, but I'm going to live with that. Bloodsport, Jean-Claude Van Damme. I wanted a sort of karate flick in there of some sort, and the one that I never seem to get tired of is Bloodsport. So that's why I went with that, because, it inspired Johnny Cage in Mortal Kombat.
Yeah.
Endgame. Avengers Endgame. If I was just going to pick one from the entire MCU first 20 years, it's going to be Endgame, just because it was so epic. Dark Knight, Batman Dark Knight, to me that is not just the best Batman movie, it's not just one of the best superhero movies ever made. To me, it's one of the best films ever made, period. Heath Ledger, rest in peace. And then I rounded out my top 10 with John Wick, because I love the things they do with firearms in those films and how disciplined clearly he was in preparation and training for this film. So that's my top 10. That's your top 10. Now, I threw a curveball at you, I guess it was a couple nights ago, where I texted you and I said, Dave, we're going to do top 10. Clearly, you labored over that motherfucker. Okay? You labored. Before I go further, give us a flavor of the pain and suffering you went through to condense your world down to 10 films.
Oh, I had a whole nother notebook that I was jotting all this stuff down and trying to make references and trying to include as many as possible. Like, my list doesn't even have Van Damme, and he's one of my top, but it's not any of these movies.
It's a tough pill to swallow, sir.
It was. It probably took me, I probably worked at it 7 hours.
Damn.
And I'm still, there's a lot missing here that I feel like are my children, and I'm just abandoning them.
Yeah.
All in all, I think I could live with this list, because the ones that aren't on here, I can play in my head anyway.
Okay. Fair enough. Okay, so
I will say, but our lists are completely different.
you had a big buddy cop vibe going on. I didn't expect that. That was a surprise for me. Okay, so now I'm going to turn the Rubik's Cube, because when you think about a top 10, anything, pick the subject, right? You're kind of dancing on that line between best of and rewatchability, particularly with movies, because a movie can be great one time. Like, I've never heard of anyone wanting to watch Schindler's List on repeat, right? There's just certain types of movies, a lot of horror films, where there's that big jump scare / twist at the end. Like, once the cat's out of the bag, cat's out of the bag. there's instances, but like we picked 10 that we felt we can live with and watch on repeat. But it's just 10, very small number. This next piece, same desert island scenario, only instead, what I tasked Dave with was not to give me the top 10 films he's going to live and die with. It's give me 5 actors or actresses where you get their entire slate of films that they've been in to be on your desert island with you. And I'm just going to give you my top one. Not my top one. It's not in any particular order. It's just one of my 5 actors. Keanu Reeves. You said Point Break earlier. Keanu Reeves is one of my actors because I get the Bill and Ted franchise. I get the Matrix franchise. I get John Wick. Plus a lot of these really great one-off movies that he's done over the years. Point Break being one of them. Just a lot of great flicks. He's had a lot of good variety as an actor. So I feel confident. Plus, I love the John Wick series, Dave. I love the John Wick series. I feel confident in throwing him on the list and getting that collection of movies, something I could be happy with.
Yeah, it's pretty good. And I didn't go that way. I went with everything from my childhood, pretty much.
Okay, respect.
The one I have here, one of my top, and this is no special order either, just Arnold Schwarzenegger.
I mean, think about that. You get a lot of great stuff with all those action flicks, Last Action Hero, Commando, one of my personal favorites. So many things over the years. Of course, Terminator franchise.
Yeah, only one franchise with him. Well, you got the Conan too.
Yeah. Let's not poo-poo that because there was...
Two.
Okay. Destroyer and Barbarian. Great movies. Now, he did a lot of great stuff. Not as many franchises, but a lot of really enjoyable solo flicks. Okay. This next one is a cop-out. And I'm fully leaning into the fact that it's a cop-out. Dave, looking you in the eye telling you it's a cop-out. Sam Jackson. Okay, I get, I don't know, a dozen plus Marvel flicks, including all the Avengers, 2 of the Captain America flicks. He wasn't in Civil War. Several of the Iron Man movies, except for the last one. Not the last one, which I don't care. I didn't like that. I didn't like that one as much anyway. And then just a litany of things that Samuel L. Jackson has done over his long, illustrious career. Things that I really love. So I feel good with Samuel L. Jackson because there's probably 50 things with him in it that I would watch. So
I'm sure more than that.
Yeah, so cop out, but I'm leaning into it.
Not to mention Tarantino films.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I think your list is going to be a little better than mine because you have so much variety already. Like the next one I have is Sylvester Stallone.
Ooh.
You get a couple of big franchises on that one. The Rockies, Rambos, Expendables. And then you got a lot of other of his great stuff that he did. Like Over the Top that I didn't get on my top 10. You still got the Tango and Cash. And you got Cobra.
Sir, Sly is also on my list as well.
Oh, okay.
Yep. For the same reasons you listed. Rocky, Rambo, Dredd, Cobra. Like he has a ton of one-off movies that he has been in that are absolutely enjoyable and I would watch again. So Demolition Man, we covered that. That is a quality catalog right there. And back over to you.
Next up, I don't have any of his films in my top 10, but Van Damme.
Nice.
Jean-Claude Van Damme. He made martial art films big for me.
Can I ask, as it pertains to the blood sport kickboxer of it all, is that like a 1A, 1B thing with you? Or do you actually like one of those two a little more than the other?
I prefer kickboxer.
Okay, I prefer blood sport. I love them both, but I prefer blood sport.
Yeah, I love them both too. I prefer kickboxer. To me, it seems a little more, I guess, polished.
Fair.
A little more smooth running.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know, I like the story.
Van Damme is such a strong choice. Not only for those movies, yet Street Fighter, yet Universal Soldier, Hard Target, Desert Heat, I think it was, Lionheart.
I mean, Van Damme has that certain charm about him.
Mm-hmm.
You got to like the guy.
That's a strong choice. It's a strong choice. I couldn't do this list without referencing my favorite actor of all time, Denzel. Training Day, Equalizer, Inside Man, just on and on and on, out of time. So many things where Denzel just does Denzel things, and he is phenomenal. Everything he touches. So Denzel Washington's in there. Enough said. He's just that great, iconic. Enough said. Denzel.
Also a huge catalog
Yes.
with a lot of variety.
Mm-hmm.
Another karate guy was the actual champion, Chuck Norris.
Ooh. Oh, Chucky. You know what? That's an interesting choice because that gives you some crossover with Bruce Lee. It gives you one of my favorite flicks of all time, Sidekicks. Gives you the Delta Force.
Delta Force, Missing in Action,
Seen action.
Invasion USA. It gives me one kind of horror type movie, Rage.
Silent Rage. One of the Expendables films. One or two. I can't remember. Two.
But I get that with Stallone anyway.
Oh, fair enough. That's solid. That is solid. My final. I told you this right before we started recording. I didn't have any comedy in my collection of this. I'm not saying that Keanu hasn't done comedy with Bill and Ted. Sam Jackson's not exactly a comedic actor, although Snakes on a Plane. Denzel, Sly, not really comedians. I wanted one. Didn't give me a strong catalog, and I wavered, to be honest with you, between Jim Carrey and I'm blanking here. Waterboy. Adam Sandler. Because Jim Carrey, Adam Sandler both have long catalogs of movies. But then what I had to ask myself is, would I get enough variety? Which one would give me enough variety that I wouldn't get bored with it? Because I do tend to watch an Adam Sandler movie and then be good on Adam Sandler for like 6-8 months, year. There's a lot of Jim Carrey movies like Me, Myself, and Irene, Cable Guy, The Mask, Ace Ventura's, that I've never got tired of watching.
Yeah, I mean, Adam Sandler, he has good stuff, but it's Adam Sandler in every movie.
Excellent point.
Jim Carrey, it's Jim Carrey, but he brings, different faces, different personalities to the movies. There's more variety in how he does his characters.
Okay, I agree with that. The physical comedy's there because that's his comedy style, but the character does indeed change.
Right. I mean, there's a big difference between Chip Douglas or whatever you want to call his name, Cable Guy, and Ace Ventura.
Right. So that was the last one on my list. That's who I pulled in. So I had a collection of comedy films at my disposal. So
my last one, another karate style, Steven Seagal.
Oh, really? But did that only get you like 5 or 6 quality flicks?
If that. Yeah, but I mean, they're really good. I liked them when they came out.
Mm-hmm.
And just, no matter how things have gone with him lately and his, 50 movies that's gone straight to DVD, he had some good ones back in the 80s and early 90s. I mean, you got Under Siege. So you have 1 and 2 there.
Mm-hmm.
The Glimmer Man, which is with one of the Wayans.
Yeah.
Hard to Kill, Above the Law. Just some really good ones.
I liked his early stuff, for the record. I did. I'm not poo-pooing that. I really enjoy his older stuff. Well, let me ask you this. We've gone through 2 different lists now. Is there one from my list? Because there's one from your list that if you were to give me a bonus that I would throw on mine. Jean-Claude Van Damme from your list. If I got to have a bonus one and it had to be from your list, that's it.
I would probably pick either Denzel or Samuel L. Jackson.
Nice.
I would have to write everything down, really do the math.
Okay. Now, and final question here. Final question. Who were the fringe? Give me a couple fringe that like you looked at and you're like, damn, it could be one of these two. They didn't quite make it, but they were fringe.
As far as the top actors,
Mm-hmm.
Bruce Willis probably was on there. I had thought about Bruce Willis, and I had thought about Eddie Murphy, because that's a good one. Nicolas Cage, Swayze. Actually, those were they were in the runner-up for these actors, but I was like, I got to go with what I grew up with mostly and what I saw mostly growing up. That's where my comfort zone is, and I know I can live with that 24/7.
So Mel Gibson was one of mine because I love the Lethal Weapon films. I love The Patriot. There's Mad Max. Like there's like a catalog that comes with him that's really good stuff. So I wavered on him. Thought about Eddie Murphy. Thought about Ian McKellen for a minute. Sir Ian McKellen, because he was Magneto in all the X-Men movies. He was Gandalf in all of the Lord of the Ring and Hobbit movies. So there was a thought there. I did end up going with those guys, but Mel Gibson, I think, is the one that almost forced himself on the list. There was no one on there that I'm like, well, I'll take this guy out for Mel. So I kept my list. I'm happy with my list. I don't have any regrets. But Mel was the one I think was the closest. I didn't even consider Jean-Claude Van Damme. And I'm glad, because that would have been trouble for me.
Yeah, like trouble it was for me.
Yeah. Yeah.
The one I didn't mention, and I don't have any of his on my top 10, nor the 5 actors, but Tom Hanks. Did you consider him at all?
No,
I mean, you get a lot of stuff there too.
it's true. What? And then we're talking about karate stuff, Dave. Like dancing around in the back of my mind, and I had to put it away so I didn't think about it too hard, was Jet Li and Jackie Chan. I mean, you want to talk about kung fu flicks? They each got a dozen solid ones they can give you.
Yeah.
I almost had the one in my top 10, sir.
I'm good with my Seagal, Norris, and Van Damme. They cover enough fighting for me. They make it showy enough and flashy and good choreography there.
Yeah. Yeah. Fair enough.
Plus a Bruce Lee film, so.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true. That's true. Well, that's great stuff. Yeah, anything else?
Something like that.
All right. I'm going to keep this one tight. We're coming up on, 20-minute mark, give or take. This was fun. Thank you for tolerating me enough to do that second list, because I knew that we're going to run into situations where we picked actors down below based on completely different parameters, quite frankly, than what we had in our top 10. And for the record, same situation with you, Dave. I had actors down below my top 5 actors for which they did not exist in my top 10 individual films. It's just an interesting thing like that, because we start putting this together and you're like, well, is this going to be kind of like your Mount Rushmore list? I was like, not really, because like I said in the text, Chris Farley, right? Absolutely love 2 or 3 of his films, but he only had a handful of films. So like, I can't subsist on 4 or 5 films the rest of my life from a comedic standpoint. So I had to be really tactical about this stuff.
Right. And as I told you earlier, for my top 10, I had a list of like 30 actors, and I was able to squeeze a top 10 list with every one of those actors in there, with them buddying up with each other. Like the Expendables helped a lot. But I had that list, and I couldn't go with it. I had to go with longer and longer.
Fair enough. I think it's also telling too that most of what we selected was slightly older stuff. Like neither of us put The Rock on their list. Someone like a more modern actor, Vin Diesel.
Yeah, I had thought about them, and I was like, I didn't grow up with them.
Right.
I mean, I know of them, but these guys right here that I have, they're closer to me.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what I want to see. If it's all I could see, that's what I want to see.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. The more modern actors, they need at least another, 10 more years, 20 more years in the game to really compete catalog-wise with some of the people who are near and dear to our heart.
Well, not only that, but I mean, style, creativeness, like the movies they make now pretty much have already been done.
That's true. They're derivative.
These guys did it.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. They're derivative to an extent. So I'm not going to argue that, Dave. That's an excellent point. I hadn't considered that. All right, well, look, we're going to shut her down. Everyone, thank you for tuning in. As always, I am your host, Gina Rona.
And I'm Dave.
Take care, y'all.
Later.